Was a big day in downtown Knoxville. Local leaders broke ground on the new downtown stadium. In just a couple of years, the Tennessee Smokies will play in that stadium under the new name, the Knoxville Smokies. Now, the planning and the financing for this project took years, and there's a lot of input from a lot of different people and organizations. That includes the president of the Beck Cultural Exchange Center. Our Brittany Bailey talked with Reverend Renee Kessler about this project and what it means for that community.
We are here at the Beck Cultural Exchange Center in front of the newest exhibit featuring Nikki Giovanni. And joining me now to talk more about this is Reverend Renee Kessler, who is the president of the Beck Cultural Exchange Center. Thanks so much for joining me.
I'm honored to have you here at the Beck.
Well, tell me about this exhibit.
It's great that we're standing right here because it almost feels like we're standing back in time. In fact, we've tried to mirror what it might have looked like inside Grandma's house at 400 Mulvaney Avenue. And Mulvaney Avenue Street, which they use interchangeably, was the home place of Nikki Giovanni, was her grandmother's home place. Now, what we know about that is it will be taken with a project called Urban Renewal. And she talks about that often, about those memories of that time. So this is a very important exhibition that really speaks to not only the history, but it also speaks in some ways to what's happening now in the future.
We'll talk more about urban renewal and what it means to Knoxville.
Yeah, so urban renewal was had a tremendous impact on Knoxville. It went in 3 phases, and in each of those phases, it really almost demolished the history of African American people in this community. In fact, absent of the pictures, of the memorabilia that we have here at the Beck and other locations throughout the city, you wouldn't even know that these communities existed. But they did exist. There was a rich, vibrant Black community in Knoxville that literally was almost wiped from the map. But because Beck Cultural Exchange Center, which was created as a result of urban renewal, preserved this history, we can now tell the stories and remember the great people who passed this way.
And so what did you think when you heard about these new stadium plans and what it could potentially mean? I know that Beck had a lot of input in what would happen when it came to the designs.
Absolutely. Well, initially, of course, like everyone else, you're a little skeptic and you're a little apprehensive because that land holds valuable memories to so very many people, including my predecessor, Mr. Robert Booker, who happens to be here working at the Beck again, as always. He lived in that area, specifically where the baseball stadium is going to be located, which we called the bottom, right? And so that's exactly the area where it's going to be. The good news is that very early on in the process, Mr. Randy Boyd and the gym team came and began to connect with the Beck Cultural Exchange Center and say, we think that history is important and we value the history that Beck has, and we would like for it to be a very instrumental part of this project. And so very early on, we organized a committee, a Black History Committee for the baseball stadium to really begin to offer opportunities to really commemorate in a very real way that history on that land. And that's what we've been doing. And the good news is that they have literally embraced all of the wonderful ideas. So our excitement right now is that when you go to that baseball stadium, it's bigger than a stadium. It is indeed a complex where you not only get to be with your family and friends, but you also get to enjoy and hear about the rich history and the legacy of great folks who lived right there. And thanks to the development and all of the folks who have worked on it, who thought this was as important as we did, to incorporate that, it will be incorporated in throughout the stadium complex. And for many generations to come, we'll be talking about, wow, this rich history that took place in on that particular part of the land.